Sup noobs, Nihilism here. Talk to you about my plan for Invasion League that starts later today. Um, I'm going to do Crit, Rain of Arrow, Ranger, Life-based, Evasion-based. Let's just jump right into the passive tree here. This is the 1.1 passive tree on the offline skill calculator. I'm Ranger, so that's obviously where I'm starting. I might not level like this because leveling's a little different. I might even level Spectral Throw. Haven't fully decided, but this will be my build, and once I'm, merciless, this is what I'm going to be doing. Keystones that I'm getting that are important in this build is Point Blank. I like Point Blank because it helps do more damage when mobs are close by, and if you don't want to do a lot of damage, because sometimes doing too much damage is an issue with this build on Reflect, because Reflect is somewhat an issue, you can avoid doing that much damage with Point Blank, because as you can see in this image, the green is where you're getting the 50% more damage, the orange is 40% to 0% more damage, and then the red is less damage, and you can easily do the 30% less damage if it's needed on Reflect packs. So I like Point Blank. Honor's Guile, help deal with Reflect. Deadly Draw, heavy draw nodes, wheel, it's awesome. Going right by lethality, it's awesome. More life nodes. Getting acrobatics here helps with Reflect a lot. Getting the wheel underneath the Shadow Talons of Murder, it's good. It's got the crit, it's got the life, everything you need. Getting charisma, and also up here I'm getting the influence wheels. This allows me to run hatred and grace myself, and I'm planning on running clarity on blood magic, maybe a level 10, to deal with mana issues. We'll see how that works. That's the plan right now. I might have to find a way to deal with the mana issues a different way if I can't afford the life. Just more crit, more life up here. Pretty basic passives, I guess. Nothing too crazy. Let's look at the character. I played this character in Nemesis. The same build, essentially changed a little here and there. I learned a few things, and well, I died. I actually died twice on Nemesis. Once I was rolled back and revived on accident, so that was a blessing. But yeah, so let's get into the character here. I have a 6-link bow. It helps, but it's not necessary in this build. I run added fire, but added fire is not even that amazing. It's good, but 5-link is just fine for this build. Rain of Arrows, faster attacks, physical projectile attack damage, life leech, conk effect. Those are your main links. Your 6th link, added fireworks, maybe increased critical strike works, critical multi if you can handle the reflect. There's quite a bit of options here. I haven't quite min-maxed out what I want my 6th link to be, but yeah, that's what that is. On your chest, you're going to run Frenzy with faster attacks, GMP, power charge on critical, and preferably a high quality, high level of power charge on critical, or sometimes it's not even worth running power charges yourself, and increased critical strikes. Also, something that's not on this build right now is I want to run a cast on damage taken, Immortal Call, increased duration, and self-cast endurance charges to also help deal with Reflect and other scary things. But that's the build, essentially. It's pretty basic. There's nothing too crazy about it. My resistor a little messed up because when I died on this character, I was running Purity, but now I switched to running Grace and Hatred with Clarity on Blood Magic. So my resistor a little messed up, but just for testing purposes, it's not the end of the world. This character ends up having 9,222 evasion, self-buffed, which is important when you're figuring out if you can survive Reflect or not, because as you can see, this image here has to do with how Honor's Guile and how Reflect works with your accuracy and your evasion. So in this formula, your accuracy is green, your evasion, which you're the defender from your own Reflect, is in blue. So with Grace, I had 9,222 evasion, so it ends up Honor's Guile, 52.24% chance to evade your Reflect damage. With Grace, Jade Flask, and Jade Flask of Reflexes, which my Jade Flask of Reflexes is a 61% increase. You can actually get that higher. I'm at 78.93. Now this character's gear is only worth about a month of, Nemesis. I died about a month in, so you can get a lot better gear than this. But the important stuff is with Grace, you have a 52.24% chance about a 50% chance to avoid your reflect. Grace, Jaded Reflexes, you have about an 80% chance. And also, that's not shown in this, is you have Acrobatics. So you have, before all of this is even calculated, a 30% chance just to ignore to dodge the hit or to ignore it. So that's that. And now reflecting itself, there's a lot of, you can pause if you want to look back on this, but it's just simple to kind of show you what kind of damage you're taking from reflect. The top end for my bow was 1,591, and I had 558 crit multiplier. So if I crit with a 50% extra damage from point blank, my top end single hit on one mob would be 13k damage, which you end up reflecting 2,397 damage. With top end crit with just normal damage, so you're in like that orange range that you saw in that point blank image, you're reflecting 1,598 damage. So basically, if your point blank damage, you can take only about 2 reflect hits just pure. This is ignoring the mob's armor, so you can actually probably take like 3-4, and if you're like not in point blank range, you can take about 3 hits, and once again, this is ignoring the mob's armor, so you can actually probably take like 5. And yeah, I've tested it out on reflect maps, 18% reflect, and I mean, you can survive attacking once or twice and critting in point blank range and you don't die. So I mean, it's not the safest build when it comes to reflect, accidentally attacking, face attacking mobs, but it is survivable. So that's that. Let's just throw in a map so you can see how it plays. This is just a simple map. It's only level 69. I know my character level is 89, so it should be a really easy map, but I don't have a lot of maps on softcore, so it's just kind of a map to do, just to show off the build for a little bit, because that's what you do in build videos, I guess. So if I had a higher quality, I would be using this Frenzy to get the power charges, but I find it really annoying and not worth it, so I don't even run Frenzy or power charges in this build. Another thing is the fact that my crit multi is really high, but my crit chance, because I don't have a Harbinger bow, my crit chance is actually not that high. And if you watch it's actually really irritating because it'll go such a long time without there's my lightning res not being maxed, but you go a long time without critting, it looks like you do just no damage, and all of a sudden you'll crit and just one shot a blue pack. So yeah, it's definitely annoying. So my goal when I'll be building my character for the second time in Invasion is to get as much crit as possible, and maybe skimp on the crit multiplier a little bit. They also are nerfing crit multiplier in 1.1, so it's making me, you know, do that for another reason. I know I'm skipping mobs up there, but I don't really care. So yeah, as you can see, I mean, I have like, what was it? Terrible lightning res, and it's 59, so I should be just getting raped by these mobs, but it's yeah, not too terrible. Let's see if we can find a reflect rare in here. Oh man, that desync. Yeah, I don't recommend playing this build with 50 lightning res and level 69 maps, even at level 89. I also, in the build that I'm actually running, I have like 30% more life in the tree because I actually switched from running, like having some mana regen passives to just running clarity on life, so I wanted more life to make up for that. Yeah, but I guess here's a kind of a, see, you just one-shot mobs when you crit, but a little lackluster damage when you don't crit. You see that, really see the difference between crit and non-crit on that mob. Let's see if we can find a reflect here real quick. I also don't have life regen in this build, so it like basically I have to leech or use my pot if I want to get life back. Oh. But in the build I showed you, I get the Heart of the Oak, which is 1% life regen, which I do not have on currently on this character, so that's another difference. Once again, it's just from playing and noticing that I really would like that 1% regen. Looks like we're not gonna find a reflect back, but I mean, you can kind of see the boss is here. The thorn scrapes my fucking face when I die here. Yeah, it's not my fault. Promise I'm only kind of terrible at this game. But yeah, so see, I just like when I crit, I just almost one-shot the boss. So that's why I want a little less crit multi and a little more crit chance. But yeah, that's the build. You didn't see reflect, but you spike. You can't like fully face attack reflect. You could die from it if you had vulnerability. You were in a reflect map and you ran up and attacked a mob with reflect, so you got the 18% and the 15%. You could just get one shot yourself. That is a possibility, even with the casting damage taken in Mortal Call, which I don't have on this build either. But so there's a chance to die to reflect. So yeah, that's